Hello and welcome to another Step in the Box instructional video. Today we will be looking at how to set up LaserWeb for the EdLaser. Now, first thing you need to do obviously is install LaserWeb. Now once you've done that, open it up and you will see the screen that's in front of you. Now we need to do two things. We need to make sure that we have a proper serial connection over the USB between LaserWeb and EdLaser, the smoothie board of course. And then we need to set up the machine parameters there, profile. Great, so let's have a look at the COM ports. So on the left here, you've just got some simple menus, files, comms, control, and settings. So let's go to comms. And the top one is a server connection. Now, when you get your, if you get your network, if you get Smoothie Board hooked up to the network, which is a really good idea, then you'll get an IP address of the EdLaser, the smoothie board, and then you just put that IP address in here, and then you're able to connect to it. Press connect, and then you will have a network connection between the smoothie board, the EdLaser, and this software here. Today what we'll be doing is using a USB connection, so machine connection. So we'll look down here and click under there for USB serial port. And yes, we can see Uberlock. Uberlock is just the German company that wrote the driver for the smoothie board. So you should see Uberlock there. If you see lots of COM ports or you don't see anything at all, then this is what you need to do. You just need to go and check in Control Panel and Device Manager, and then COM ports. And you should see Smoothie Board USB serial, and it's on COM85. If you can't see the Smoothie Board, or you simply see USB serial, then what that means is that if you don't see anything there at all, then it means you possibly have a dodgy USB cable or something like that. But if you just see some type of unidentified USB serial there, then it means you don't have the Smoothie Board Windows driver installed, and you need to go and install that Windows driver for Smoothie. Great, so we can see that that's all good to go. It's on COM85. And then when we go back to LaserWeb, you can see it's COM85. So you just 98% of issues with the LaserWeb not working is just a simple COM port. Okay, so it's COM85, so that we're going to select that, leave the baud rate at 115/200, and then connect. Great, so how do you know it's connected? Well, if you look down the bottom right hand corner of LaserWeb, you will see the serial terminal window, and you can see there that it says connecting machine on USB COM85 115/200 baud rate, and then it's got a green tick for machine connected, which is what you want to see, and then it's got firmware Smoothie Edge, so it's detected the firmware version on the smoothie. So that's 100% confirmation that LaserWeb is now connected and has a live serial connection to the smoothie board. Great, so that's basically the first step done. You've connected Smoothie to LaserWeb. Great, so now what we need to do is go and set up the machine profile. So if you go to settings, and the best way is to go down to tools. So up here, by default these are the default machines here, so it won't work if you just select generic smoothie machine. Okay, it won't work. It doesn't know how big it is, so you need to go and import the EdLaser profile. So if you go down to tools, which is in settings, so settings, tools, and then if you go down to the bottom, you've got three options here. You can upload a snapshot, which is both the machine profile and the settings. The machine profile is all the hardware stuff, you know, how big is the machine, what's the gearing ratios of the stepper, that type of thing. The settings are more of the control software settings. So what should your default laser power be? What should be your default laser, stepper speeds and acceleration and stuff like that. So there's sort of the settings of the control settings. So you can import both together by going down here, snapshot, and then file. So if I load that, and then you download these off STEM Academy, obviously, and that's the Ed Laser snapshot. So that's got them all together. So now you'll see when you go back up to the machine profile, you can see that Educator Laser profile is now in there, okay, and the settings will all be there as well, okay. It's default settings. I'm just going to delete that again, okay, and I'm going to show you the way to import just the Ed Laser machine profile and then the settings independently. So go down to tools again, and they're just up the top. So if we load the machine profile, so that's the Ed Laser profile, and then if we load the settings, and that's the Ed Laser settings, okay. So we've just done them separately now, and then we need to go up and select the Educator Laser profile, and then it applies it, okay. And then you should see machine ID, and it's got Educator Laser profile. Now, why you won't really be, well, you shouldn't be changing the Educator Laser machine profile, because the hardware size of the machine and that sort of thing is not going to change. You would only change that if you got some other type of laser machine that you're using this software for. But you would want to change the settings. So it's a bit like on the 3D printer where in Curra, where you might save a profile for printing PLA, and you might save a profile for printing ABS. This is sort of the same. You might save a profile, sorry, you might save a settings for when you're doing, say, laser cutting some acrylic, so the settings will be slow, and high laser power and those sorts of settings. And then you might have another settings that you would save, and that might be for where you're doing raster images, where you're obviously moving a lot faster with a lot less power, so that you save those settings. So they're just a bunch of default settings that you would use in a particular case, and so that's what I would be doing. I would be setting them up for different materials, and then the students can load them as a default beginning and then tweak them from there.